There's a certain kind of person who doesn't raise their voice even when the world seems to be falling apart. They don't argue. They don't panic. They don't rush to prove themselves right. They just breathe. And while everyone else is scrambling to make sense of the chaos, they quietly watch, like someone who's already been through this storm before. You've probably met someone like that, the kind of person who feels like silence itself has wrapped around them. No matter what happens, they remain composed, steady, untouchable. And if you've ever wondered why some people can stay so calm while others fall apart, the answer is far deeper than you might think. Calmness, real calmness, isn't the absence of emotion. It's what happens when emotion meets understanding. These people feel everything. They just don't react the same way anymore. Here's the truth nobody talks about. Calm people weren't born this way. They became this way. They were overthinkers once. They cared too much, tried to control everything, fix everything, please everyone. And every time they tried, they learned the same lesson, that life doesn't bend to your will, no matter how hard you push. At some point, they stopped trying to control the ocean, and instead, they learned to surf it. They've learned the language of their mind. They can feel anger without exploding, sadness without drowning, uncertainty without losing balance, because inside their mind there's a small voice that whispers, "This too will pass." And that voice isn't blind optimism, it's memory. They've lived through enough to know that even the worst moments fade, that panic doesn't speed up healing, and that peace isn't found in control, but in acceptance. Most people misunderstand calm people. They think calm means cold, but in truth, it often means compassionate. They're the ones who hold space for others when everyone else is panicking. They're the ones who can say, "It's okay," and mean it. Not because they don't care, but because they know chaos isn't permanent. Calm people have trained their minds to pause between feeling and reacting. That pause is their superpower. It's why in an argument, they can hear something hurtful and not immediately strike back. It's why they can sit in uncertainty without needing to fill the silence. That pause, that moment of stillness, is where wisdom lives. But here's what's fascinating. Many learned it the hard way, through heartbreak, through disappointment, through realizing that reacting quickly often made things worse. They got tired of their own chaos, tired of overreacting, regretting, apologizing, explaining. They reached a point where peace became more important than being right. And yet, that calmness isn't always easy. Sometimes calm people carry storms inside that no one can see. They look peaceful, but their calm is hard-earned. It's the kind that's forged in pain, not perfection. They've cried in private, questioned their worth, felt unseen, misunderstood. And through all that, they discovered that peace isn't a reward for having an easy life. It's a discipline you build when you realize that emotional chaos doesn't serve you anymore. Because deep down, they've realized something most people don't. Reacting to everything makes you a prisoner of everything. The calmer you are, the freer you become. Calm people don't just react differently, they see differently. While most people see chaos, they see patterns. While most see problems, they see lessons. While most see endings, they see beginnings disguised as change. They've trained their perception to zoom out, to look at the bigger picture instead of getting lost in the moment. The calm person you see sitting quietly, they've probably lived through things that once broke them. They just learned not to live inside that break anymore. They've realized that when you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, you create space. And that space is where peace begins. Their calmness is not apathy, it's understanding. The understanding that not every emotion deserves expression, not every thought deserves attention, and not every situation deserves energy. Because energy, to them, is sacred. For many, calmness is something they had to build to survive. They learned early that reacting loudly didn't change outcomes, that staying composed was safer. So calmness became their armor. But here's the beauty. Even if it began as protection, it evolved into power. That restraint turned into awareness.
That quiet strength became the foundation of their peace. Calm people have discovered a truth hidden deep in human psychology, that pain without resistance is just sensation, but pain with resistance becomes suffering. So they stopped resisting what is. They've learned to separate the external world from their internal one. The world can be loud, unpredictable, cruel at times, but their inner space, that's sacred. If you ask a calm person what changed them, they'll probably tell you, I just got tired. Tired of overthinking, tired of defending, tired of giving energy to everything that didn't deserve it. So they started valuing peace like oxygen. The world celebrates loud success, but rarely honors quiet strength. Yet it's the calm ones who carry the most wisdom. That's why talking to them feels like therapy. You feel seen, not analyzed, understood, not judged, because they're not listening to respond, they're listening to understand. And that kind of listening requires stillness, and stillness requires strength. Because it's hard to stay centered when others are spinning. It's hard to remain soft when the world keeps trying to harden you. But calm people do it anyway, not because it's easy, but because they know it's necessary. Most people look for peace in perfect conditions. Calm people create peace within imperfect ones. They don't wait for the storm to pass. They learn to find stillness inside it. They understand that time reveals what emotion hides, that patience is not inaction, it's wisdom disguised as delay. They stopped fighting life. They stopped trying to win every argument, control every outcome, rewrite every past, and predict every future. They started trusting themselves enough to let things unfold. Trust, that's the secret ingredient in calmness. It's not about knowing what will happen. It's about believing that whatever happens, you will handle it. And that belief doesn't come from ego. It comes from experience, from surviving enough storms to know you will survive the next one too. That's why calm people radiate quiet confidence. Not loud, showy confidence, but the kind that feels like gravity. It's in their presence. You just feel safe around them because their energy tells you, it's okay. We don't have to rush. We don't have to fight. We can just be. But let's be real. Even the calmest people lose their balance sometimes. They get angry. They break down. They feel doubt. But the difference is they know how to return to stillness. They don't stay lost in emotion. They observe it, understand it, and let it pass. Because true calm isn't about never being shaken. It's about always finding your way back. Calm people know that emotions are waves, not walls. You can't stop them from coming, but you can choose how to surf them. Maybe you've felt that pull too, that quiet voice inside that says, I just want peace. Maybe you've reached a point where chaos no longer excites you, where silence feels like safety. That's not weakness, that's growth. Because calmness isn't something you're born with, it's something you grow into. And once you do, the world changes. You stop needing noise to feel alive. You start valuing quiet moments, gentle people, slower days. You measure success not by how much you achieve, but by how peacefully you live. The calmer you become, the more clearly you see people, patterns, purpose. You start noticing how much of life is noise pretending to be important. So you begin simplifying, decluttering your thoughts, your space, your relationships. You choose less, and somehow it feels like more. Because the goal isn't to have a perfect life, it's to have a peaceful mind. And peace doesn't come from fixing everything outside of you. It comes from learning to rest within yourself, even when nothing outside makes sense. That's what makes calm people rare. Not their lack of emotion, but their understanding of it. They don't escape the storm. They become the stillness inside it. And maybe that's the message we all need, that calmness isn't found at the end of the journey. It's found when you stop running and decide to be fully here, right now. Because life will always test you. It will shake you, challenge you, break your rhythm. But every time it does, you have a choice, to react or to return. And every time you choose to return to calm, you become a little stronger, a little wiser, a little freer. So if you've ever been told you're too calm, take it as a compliment. It means you've mastered the art of emotional balance in a world that thrives on reaction. It means you've learned to see the storm without becoming it. And it means you've found the kind of strength that doesn't shout. It simply is. Because calmness is not emptiness. It's fullness without noise. It's power without aggression. It's emotion without chaos.